This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
We've got Sarah, who's in Houston, Texas. Let's go. What's going on, Sarah?
Hi. I am a stay-at-home mom, and my husband and I don't have any debt other than our mortgage, and we live on a budget, but it's pretty tight, and I find every time I'm saving money, I end up dipping into that. My question is, my husband has a pension because he works for the city, but we also give to a different investment account, like for retirement, just in case the pension gets mismanaged. And I'm just wondering if we're overdoing it.
Well, tell us the numbers. Yeah. What percentage goes to his pension, and what percentage are you guys putting aside in the additional investment accounts?
So 12% goes to the pension.
Okay.
And I think it's almost 15% goes to the 457.
Wow. Okay. Typically what we would say is treat the pension like half. So maybe in this case, you could treat it like 6%, and then you do the other 9% to another investment account that you have more control over. So in that way, you could pull back, and I think having that extra 6% would help things feel less tight. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
and then maybe help us save for kids' college a little bit easier.
Let's talk about income. So it feels like you guys are pretty good at the budget, and it's just an income issue. Obviously, you're stay at home. And that's the season of life, and it's a great choice. What is he making, and what does he do for the city?
He is a firefighter.
Okay.
And his income varies with overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about $5,000 a month, I think, is our average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what other skills does he have? Experience does he have that's transferable? Because one of the things about a fireman's schedule is he's got those 3 on, 4 off, or whatever it ends up being, and so my point is he's got a really unique situation where he's got some downtime where he could be making some money. And this is not necessarily something he has to do for the rest of his life, but certainly in this season where it's just one income, adding some more income right now, I think is a must for you guys. Number one, to have some margin because you guys are disciplined. So imagine how much more progress you guys could make financially given your discipline if you had more coming in. You tracking with me?
Yes. I feel like the time off gets sucked up with things like fixing cars and fixing the house. And
that's when he comes back and is part of the household.
I get that. And all I'm saying is I get that, but that's still a choice.
Yeah.
You guys have got to make choices right now. You got little ones. You're trying to save for them, and you're going to have to make a choice. What's most important? I can see one day a week he messes around with an old car or something like that. That's a hobby. I'm all about hobbies. Mm-hmm. I got my hobbies, and they are religious for me. Okay, because I need them.
Fixing the cars is more that we drive old cars that need fixing all the time.
but again, more money means better cars. More money means investing for the kids' colleges or their future education.
How old are the kids?
Mm-hmm. They range from 12 to 1.
Ooh, mama.
Yeah. Wow. How many do you have?
4.
Oh boy.
You know what? I'm not going to lie, Sarah. When I first started talking, I said, Sarah sounds stressed.
Yeah.
And you are stressed.
I am.
You're doing a great job, though. To Ken's
point,
you're
doing great.
You guys have got a handle on the budget. I love that. What I really love is that when I asked you direct questions about the numbers, you knew them, which lets me know you're on top of this.
That's right.
And, I think Ken is right. If there's a way to bring in a little bit more money to bring some breathing room into this situation, it would probably help you guys out over time. I'm not sure what that is, but I think that there's some margin to make that happen. Either way, though, I think dropping that investing down by 6% and taking advantage of the pension that is there, I think that's going to give you guys the breathing room that you're looking for. All right.
By the way, just a quick follow-up on this for anybody that feels like they're in this situation. what I would do is reverse engineer this thing and go, how much more money, this is for people who know their budget like she does, how much more money net to our household budget every month would take us beyond just some breathing room, but would be like, ooh, we got some momentum with this amount of money.
Yeah.
So if that number's 500 for some of you, get after it. That's $6,000 a year, gross. These are all gross numbers. So, I'd like to see in this situation a fireman like this, he's got some skill. I'd like to see him aim for 25 to 30 grand additional income a year. Once you pay taxes on that, that's going to more than give them breathing room and actually allow them to make progress.
That's right.
This is the way I think you have to separate this out so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. Like, I got to get another job. Well, listen, for a season, you need to bring in an additional 25 grand, but we don't focus on the work. We focus on what are the options as a result of more money? More money, I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of rich people, and I can break it down to this. You know what rich people have?
Tell me.
Freedom.
Options.
All kinds of options.
Yeah.
To do whatever the flip they want, whenever they want. And so we don't have to aim for that. We're not keeping up with the Joneses. I'm simply saying that if you talk to wealthy people, what they love most about being wealthy is not the actual money. It's options, choices. And they've got some very clear choices. They want to give their kids choices for education. So if that's the issue, I got to bring in some more income in their situation because they're already tight and they're living disciplined. So that's half the battle.
That is half the battle. That's good. That's good, Ken. I mean, luckily for them, they don't have any debt besides their mortgage. But even with that, to make the progress to pay this off quickly, it's going to be.
Yeah. So let's play your point out. So now let's say they get extra money and it takes care of the kids' education futures. But then you got this sweet couple that's worked really hard and they've been great parents, great Americans. Well, they want something left over too when they get to 65.
That's right.
So that additional 25, don't get me started with you and your investment calculator.
I know.
You start plugging in those numbers for themselves, and all of a sudden now they've got a really, really comfortable retirement options when you're old.
Yeah, this is very true. And let's talk about this in a bigger picture because Sarah kind of hit on something that I think a lot of people feel. They're in baby step 4. And there is kind of this feeling like once I hit baby step 4, like there should be no tight feeling anymore. I should be able to just go and sometimes people hit baby step 4 and they're not feeling that freedom, that options that you're talking about. And the truth is some of it can be income like they're facing here. Some of it can be season of life because she's a stay-at-home mom, but if you've got 2 kids in daycare, if you've got kids in private school, Ken, there's different things that can put strain on your budget in baby step 4 that is just for a season. And if you can decide, hey, we're going to side hustle for a little while, you will come to that point where there's a clearing in the woods. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great way of saying that. That's really good. That emotionally describes that.
Because everybody wants to get to that.
Walking through in briars and little branches hitting you in the face, and it's hard to walk. I love that. Then you eventually see that clearing. That's really good. And that's why the extra income.
Yes.
Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's inconvenient. But look, that's the reality.
I mean, over 40% of Americans have side hustles. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And the choice,
because it's expensive.
It's
as my brother used to say.
I know that's
right. Expensive.
It's expensive.
Things are expensive these days.
You got 4 kids trying to go to college. You got a kid. All of that matters. If you're in a season of life where you're trying to get pregnant and you're paying for fertility treatment, all these things. And so basically, what I'm trying to do in this moment is kind of normalize the feeling that if you are in baby step 4 and it's a little bit tight, it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It simply means that you have chosen a value for that time period, and it's okay. And the solution to that is, hey, maybe we bring in a little bit more money for the short term, or maybe we just accept it's a little tighter right now, but it's only going to be for the next 3 years, and then there's the clearing in the woods that we talked about.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To learn more about investing, visit RamseySolutions.com/investing or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.